Better late than sorry. I have to figure out this whole so I have to really figure out who's on and who's live because like I watch Salty Cracker. I watch his lives. So for me to schedule a live and sometimes he's not on YouTube, sometimes he's on D Live, so on and so forth. So I'm very sorry guys for scheduling and messing it up like I do. Look at my sign. I know some people's spirits are down. I'm here to lift them up, even if just to show you there is hope. I'm old enough. Most people, I think, if I look at my analytics, most people on my channel are old enough to remember Bush versus Gore. This is going to be a Bush versus Gore. Only I hate to say it, as much as we hated the way Gore did what he did during that election, Donald Trump's going to have to do that because there's 1,000 times the voter fraud going on in this election. Now, notice the thumbnail because thumbnails are being caught up inside the algorithm as well. So pretty much everything I've done since I started talking politics is completely demonetized. So I did the thumbnail because most of the time, if you're a regular, you know that they cut my stream as soon as we get really talking about some stuff they don't want to hear about. There's it. Okay. So anyway, I've got so much stuff lined up. I really want to just get right to it because if not, then I'm going to be here forever. And then you're going to be like, give me the good shit. So let's do it. Boom. Oh, there we go. Sorry about the big thumb, guys. That's a weird spot for the camera button. Okay. Let's do this here. Everybody knows the deal. If for some reason the live stream gets cut, I will put another one up immediately. As long as what happens on election night doesn't happen. If those of you don't know, on election night, hi, amazing lady. On election night, I was banned for copyright strike, and I was also banned for unfactual information about the election. I have the email. I'm going to actually do an entire live stream about it here, or maybe a video, I think, maybe just a video. However, look out for that. And also, heads up, I'm interested in anybody that is watching this video who is willing to tell their story, who wants to be a part of a group live stream I'm going to be doing on opiate addiction and Suboxone. If you're interested, my email is in the description. Please email me. I'm very trustworthy. I have 14 years clean myself and 14 years minus a few in the middle when I did my prison stint on Suboxone myself. So there's no judgment on my end, and I can identify with probably 99.99999% of the issues you've gone through. So let's start with this. This is the most up-to-date. Let's get this out of the way, guys, because this means everything. Anything you've heard today that has got your spirits down, including Joe Biden out there right now claiming he is the winner of the election, means nothing. Okay? Al Gore claimed he was the winner, all right? The bottom line is at the time it came down to 557 votes. No matter how much cheating was done, they could not dig up more that last 557 votes. So RNC Chairman Rhonda McDaniel and GOP Chairman Laura Cox held a press conference today outlining irregularities and a software glitch that has apparently caused 6,000 votes cast for Republican candidates to be inaccurately counted for Democrats. The thing about this is, guys, is that the same software was used in the same capacity in 47 other counties across the state, warning of possible similar glitches elsewhere. All right, guys, this is a vital area. This is a swing state. This is kind of ironic that the glitch happened here. It's along with many other ironies we are going to talk about tonight. So, and I'm going to stop here in the middle and chit chat with everybody and take questions, and because I like to do that when I'm live. So if you got any good questions you want to ask, or you want me to check out something, or link you want me to check out, just drop it in the comments, and when I say so, because I won't be able to get back to it if you do it now. So just wait until I let you know. Okay. Antrim County, says Cox, the ballots were counted for Democrats that were meant for Republican, causing a 6,000 vote swing against our candidates. Guys, 6,000 vote swing times 47 counties. That's hundreds of thousands of votes. Hundreds of thousands. Let's watch.
If all this wasn't enough, in Antrim County, ballots were counted for Democrats that were meant for Republicans, causing a 6,000 vote swing against our candidates. The county clerk came forward and said tabulating software glitched and caused a miscalculation of the votes. Since then, we have now discovered that 47 counties use this same software in the same capacity.
Let me pause this for a minute. Because of my John Q, I don't think he's in here yet, so I don't have him dropping my disclaimer. Guys, this is simply for, what do you call it? For a review and comment purpose only, for educational purposes. This is fair use policy, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And I'm sure he'll pop in at some point and drop it in the comments. Secondly, the other thing I want you to understand is I am not the only one. I guarantee right now somewhere deep on Reddit and 4chan is some Reddit or 4chan nerd team that is literally has doxed the FUCK out of this software company and is going to find out everything about it, where its money comes from, who is in who's in charge of it. Is there any type of connection with any type of left or right, any left or right politicians involved, whatnot? Or is there any ex-politicians who may have donated large amounts of money, used them before, whatever. We're going to find out if this software company has anything nefarious behind it, and I'm sure it's already being looked at as we speak.
Antrim County had to hand count all of the ballots, and these counties that use this software need to closely examine their results for similar discrepancies. The people of Michigan deserve a transparent and open process. If all this wasn't enough...
Okay, so that's the end of that. Hold on a second. So captioning video clips from the press conference, McDaniel posted via Twitter, "This is our democracy. We need to pursue clear irregularities. The RNC has deployed legal teams to Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Ironically, again, the most important swings, battleground states, guys, the ones that matter the most, where all of the problems just ironically happen to be, and where all of these tranches and tranches of Biden votes just keep popping up in the hundreds of thousands." Anyway, it says, "This is our democracy." Hang on.
Today, we announced that the RNC has deployed legal teams in 4 states, including Michigan, to investigate clear irregularities with vote counting and tabulation in those states. They will work with state and local authorities to ensure that a legal count is conducted in accordance to each state's laws and that every vote is counted. It is crazy to us that the media would call a race like Arizona for Biden when our side still has enough votes to win. But in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Georgia, where in some cases the margin is only a few thousand votes, the media is quick to try and claim those races are over and Biden has won. If the shoe was on the other foot, President Trump was in the lead in all these states, the media would be screaming that the race is not over and we need more time to count and make sure it was right. But because Biden is in a very slight lead, the media demands the race is over and there is nothing to see here. The American people need to have confidence in our elections.
Amen.
Right now, we don't
and
have
we don't.
that because across the country, Democrat officials are shutting down transparency, especially here in the state of Michigan. Democrats are damaging the country in the process of a smooth transition of power by not allowing a transparent process.
Okay, keep going. So it then says we have documented, sorry, too far. Ronna McDaniel then says we have documented irregularities in Michigan. In Wayne County, poll watchers were kept in the dark with black windows and padlocked doors at the TCF Center. A whistleblower said supervisor asked them to illegally put dates on ballots.
The American people
Hi,
need
BC.
to have
Hi,
confidence
PM.
in our elections. Right now,
Amazing.
we don't have that because across the country, Democrat officials are shutting down transparency, especially here in the
Here's
state
all
of
my
Michigan.
boobs.
Democrats are damaging the country in the process of a smooth transition of power by not allowing a transparent process. Right here in Michigan, just last night in Oakland County, we found 2,000 ballots that had been given to Democrats that were Republican ballots due to a clerical error, and this took place in Rochester Hills. In Wayne County.
Hang on, for fair use, I gotta stop it. Okay, so listen, guys. When they say there's no proof of any systematic irregularities in this election, I say bullshit. And I say I'm gonna show you a very simple breakdown with a 3-minute, not even a 2.5-minute video by my favorite conservative, I guess I would call him documentarian, Dinesh D'Souza. 4.5 minutes. Sorry, go. Hang on.
From the Democrats and from the left and from the media, including Fox News.
Hang on.
Where is the
Again, fair use policy. We're using this for education purposes only. Gosh, where's John?
evidence of systematic voter fraud?
Have you seen any problems that you think are going to need to be adjudicated in the courts?
No, there have been no irregularities going on. Quite frankly, if he's saying that, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
And okay, well, that's about as close as it gets right there.
The question for the Trump campaign: how do you investigate? How do you prove voter fraud?
Very simple, guys. There's Clay. Hi, Clay.
About this issue.
Hang on, let me pause this. Clay, John's not here right now. Could you do me a huge favor? Could you drop the disclaimer about the fair use policy in the comments for me? I really much appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Because if Biden's the winner, usually a winner likes to make it very clear that I won in a fair process.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Only because that's why I was cut off during my live stream at the election, because they said I used too many consistent minutes in a row without disclaimers. So yeah, it was a copyright policy thing, and saying I didn't put enough disclaimers, and they used too many minutes of it without disclaimer or without saying why, whatever, educational purposes, without speaking enough. So sorry guys, bear with me. I don't want to be cut off from you.
Calls your victory into question. So if Biden were confident that the rules were obeyed and the votes are valid and he won fair and square, you'd think he'd be the one demanding transparency, accountability. Sure, let's count every legal vote. Let's scrutinize any questionable votes, any claims, any allegations of impropriety. But he's not saying that, which is sort of telling, because it looks to me like he is not all that confident that he won fair and square.
He knows he
did. The
did.
main question of how do you prove voter fraud? I think in this case, the key is to show patterns. So in other words, not just one dead guy who voted, but a pattern of dead people who voted, because somebody is organizing that. Not just one guy out of state who decided to send in his ballot, but a pattern of out-of-state voters voting, even though they're not eligible to vote. Someone's organizing that. There's a pattern there. There's also a pattern of anomalies. How is it the case that all the swing states couldn't finish their counting? Everybody else could. But the holdup was only in the swing states.
As if it was set up ahead of time. Remember that. We're going to talk about that soon.
Needed to know how many votes.
Remember that part, guys. We are going to go over a breakdown where I believe they planned this entire election, which I mean, we have proof it was in the media. But anyway, I'm going to go over everything right after this. So stick around, because I've got a lot of evidence to back myself up.
They needed to cook up. Here are some further improbabilities. How can 138,000 votes show up in one state, in one county, and they're all for Biden?
Amen, BC, and thank you, Clay.
Now, I saw some dude in Fox News saying, well, you know,
they said I got to drop it every 120 seconds.
There are urban areas where Biden gets a lot of votes. Granted.
I'm going to have to start paying you.
Understand that. There are places where Biden could get 70%, 75%.
I know, right? Amazing. The 80s in here. You all see that? She was well, wait a minute. They was, I got to be proper. They was in here first.
So the idea
I can't just assume.
100%.
I'm pretty sure it's
she, though. Is preposterous. The probability of that
I kind of can tell.
Almost infinitesimally
it's my lesbian radar.
Then
I
we
can tell
turn
a
to
chick from a
other,
mile away.
improbabilities that are equally outrageous. What is the chance that in Wisconsin, the voting levels reach, well, almost 90%? Almost 90%
Okay, now I can
of
see your
eligible
profile. There
voters
we
cast
go.
their votes.
Oh yeah, I was right.
That's
See, I didn't
never
even have your
happened
profile
before,
up.
and it's
No,
not
I
even close to what's happened before. Once again, when you run the math, the probability that that could have occurred.
Okay, guys,
is
I'm sorry. I just talked through something very important, okay? There was 138,000 ballots that popped up. Most of you might have heard this. Some of you haven't. I need you to understand how very important this is. When you look at the math, okay, of where this came from, even if it came from the deepest blue part of New York. Aw, that's awesome, amazing, ADC. I see her. I got to stop and talk to her. I know I'm not in the chat a lot. I used to be in G's. I used to just sit back and watch, and then every once in a blue moon, I'd put a little comment in. Everybody'd be like, "Oh, Kate, Kate, Kate," and I'd feel bad, like I was taking all the attention away from G. All right. So anyway, check this out, y'all. 130,000 votes all came in at once after they told everybody, all the Republican counters, go home. We are done counting for the night. Oh yes, no childish, not at all. Beautiful over here. We love it. Chat is calm. It was even election night went beautifully.
And it's not even close to what's
Here we go.
happened
Pay
before.
attention.
Once again, when you run the math, the probability that that could have occurred is preposterously small. And let's remember that in court cases, this kind of evidence, statistical evidence that shows, again, not unlikelihood, but preposterous improbabilities, is used all the time. It's used, in fact, to send people to prison for life. DNA evidence is like that. There is a 1 in a 10 million chance or a 50 million chance.
Then she'd have been using
that we have the wrong guy.
Kanika. The Kanika
And
days when
therefore
I
we
used
can
to
say
fall
with
asleep
confidence
during my
it was the
live stream,
perpetrator's
6-8
blood
hours
that
long.
was found and no one else's at the
Yes.
murder scene. So I
We're
think
gonna.
if Trump
Hey guys,
produces
how
a
many
combination-
people would like me to spend a live stream going back over answering questions about that? I've had so many people like drop me emails about why haven't you talked about? I mean, I did do like a final video on it, but I wasn't going live at the time. So if y'all are interested in a live stream question and answer where you can actually ask me, I can pull up what I have on the and go over it one by one for those of you who maybe the video is too fast for. Let me know. I mean, I'm down for it. Listen. If all my people from Kanika are still following me now and being that loyal, I always for you to answer any questions you have about what I learned and what I feel about that case. So back to Dinesh.
The nation of specific
Okay,
anecdotal
Clay.
evidence.
Let's talk about it. We'll
pattern
set it up.
And statistical evidence. That will be a very powerful combination.
Yes, I did, and I still do. I love this. This is where I get to speak.
But rather systematic voter fraud.
Guys, this is important.
Voter fraud, but rather
Hang on. Oops, wrong one.
systematic voter fraud. Scene.
Here.
So I think if Trump produces
Okay,
a
awesome.
combination
I'm gonna work on it. I
of
promise.
specific
Within the next week, I
anecdotal
promise we'll pull
evidence,
something together where I can do
pattern
a question and answer live stream.
statistical evidence, that will
Yes,
be a
I
very
know. I have
powerful
tons of emails
combination
still.
to show
Do you know there's some
this is
emails that
not
I still come
episodic
across that I never open,
voter
and when I
fraud,
open them, I'm like, oh my
rather
God, I can't believe I didn't have this.
voter fraud.
I just keep all of it and add to it. Okay, guys, meaning, I'm sorry, I talked through the important part again. Systematic voter fraud. Hang on a second. He's saying this is not just cases, random cases of voter fraud. He's saying this is systematic voter fraud. They committed voter fraud in numerous amounts of ways. Okay, so I'm not going to click on this video yet because now I already talked to you really about the 6,000 vote thing. So we don't need to watch Tim Caff's video and risk a copyright strike. I'm going to go back to what I have. And I think you'd rather hear my talking anyway. That way I have my own content rather. I mean, I'm going to use I got a whole list we're going to hit up, but I just want you to know there we go. I also am ready to rock and roll myself with all my own research I did because I like to do my own thing rather than just take from somebody else. So Trump wants Supreme Court to decide the election, cities unfounded voter fraud claims, of course. Now listen, this guy's is, New York Post. They're under a lot of shit right now. So I just grabbed this. Oh, here we go. Hang on. Oh, goodness gracious. hold on. President Trump said in a tweet flagged by Twitter that the U.S. Supreme Court should decide the election due to unfounded claims of illegal voting. There's not a lot of unfounded claims, you guys. I mean, there's people who, yeah, you want to? You want to? Well, we can do that. We can do like a couple of different, how about we can do like a reoccurring episode of lives like once a week for 5 weeks where we start, because it's going to take that. You guys, I mean, when I tell you I had to buy extra space to hold all the Kanika stuff I have. Like through Google, you know how when you run out of that free space they give you? Yeah, y'all sent me so much stuff on Kanika, and we had so much stuff on Kanika. That's why I said I need a secretary to sit down and put this stuff in files so that I can really be, I can pull things up quickly as we're going along. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know we should start that over too, boo. I think they're gonna have to hand count a lot of things, and I'll get to that in a minute. But Trump says that he made these allegations Friday as his once sizable lead in the crucial state of Pennsylvania dwindled to less than 20,000 votes. He says, I easily win the presidency with legally cast votes. You guys, there's people who voted in the 1800s that are their ballots have literally been counted. So this is not over. I promise you. The beauty about this election is, guess what? And I know this personally because I just worked for them. The census just took place. So we have fresh, up-to-date, current data on legal citizens and their addresses. And 99, I'm not sure, I can't tell you it was the most accurate thing because there was lots of things that could have been wrong. However, you compare that with the list of county cemetery, which that lets you know the current deaths and whatnot, and then you compare that to the voter rolls, registration rolls, and that's how you certify the election. And Trump is going to certify every single last vote. Believe that. Precious moments for life. You guys, we have to keep our spirits up right now because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, this is America, and as much as none of us want a senile dementia, Alzheimer case of a president, and whatever. First of all, he's already talking about on the very first day signing back into the Paris Climate Agreement. We're in the middle of the greatest depression of our life because of the pandemic, and this man wants to give back money to Paris for basically something that doesn't do any. If you look it up, first of all, Google it if you don't believe me. Whenever we've been in the Paris Climate Agreement, it did absolutely nothing for the environment. All it is like it makes us look good. That's all it is. It's a bumper sticker for America. That's all, like, oh, look at us. We're putting our money in. We're putting our money where our mouth is. And we're going to be the ones with the regulations and all of the extra cost of fuel and energy industries and businesses. And basically right now, the last thing any of those industries need is an extra anything because they're all just struggling. Everybody's just struggling to survive at this point with this pandemic and its reoccurrence over and over again, which we're also going to talk about. I have some crazy news on the pandemic, guys. Don't go anywhere. Holy cow. Something, if you're not a Styx Hexenhammer watcher, then I don't know what to tell you, but Styx he's been calling this one for a minute. Oh, what's going on with the Gateway Pundit? Okay, here we go. Dead voters, guys. What did they just tell you? Dead voters. Oh, I need a drink. Sorry. Dead voters caught voting in Michigan. Many are older than the oldest human alive today. But they didn't even try, did they? You got to understand, guys, this is why they waited to count these battleground areas till the last minute. Because they needed to know exactly how many cheating ass ballots they were going to need to take those areas from Trump. So they waited, they counted, and then all of a sudden they'd say, okay, we're done, go home, everybody. And in the morning, everybody come back and there's 200,000 more votes. And okay, so there's at least 4 voters in Michigan last night who were born before 1902. And these voters, in fact, these voters are older than the oldest human alive today. The oldest person alive today was born in 1903, so they have her beat. All 4 of these people are older than the oldest person on the face of Earth. They voted this cycle absentee. That's quite a turnout operation, Democrats. Here are their names, and here was the list. Let's blow her up for you just for shits and giggles. How about that, guys? Hang on here. Boom, boom, boom. At least 7 Michigan votes. Hang on. Voters were sent live. At least 7 Michigan voters were sent live absentee ballots whose voter registration records records their birth year as prior to 1902. And as of Monday, 5 were recorded having been returned and counted. The oldest recorded person living is currently 117, meaning that the 7 who were sent live ballots either constitute the oldest 7 people on the planet who are currently living without the honor, or there are cases where the ballots are being requested in cast of the name of someone who has passed away, or the state voter file has not been properly removing names of people who have passed away or recording the birth year incorrect, which would cause problems if a voter wanted to vote in person. Wow. Keep going. Hang on a second here. Let me pull up these rolls. They're above this. Okay, hold on. Where is it? Here it is. Here's the names, guys. June Aiken, ID number 17705212. Ballot address, 5835 Stone Lake Road, wherever. Spoiled ballots, it says null, and then it says year of birth, 1900. Y'all down here, look at this one. Jason Lemoyne Daniel, ballot number 182-75731, Race Street, Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan, weren't we just talking about Flint, Michigan, and how the Democrats were going to have to buy votes just to even stay above water in Flint, Michigan. Born in 1850, guys. 1850. What does that make him? I'm not good at math. Somebody drop that in the comments. What does that make Mr. Jason Lemoyne Daniel? I mean, is he like 200? No. He's 170 or so, maybe. Something like that, right? Right or wrong? Is he 170? Is that my 420 math? You know, because, you know, I should definitely not try doing math right after I started doing the live, because, you know, I'm late doing the live every day because of my 420 session at whatever time of the day I decide to do it. Okay, let me get this back to regular size so we can keep going on to stuff I have found for you. All right. Let me get rid of that. Yeah, come on. There you go. Get rid of that. Keith Olbermann. Let's talk about this effing lunatic. Keith Olbermann. He has lost it 100 times. I don't know what happened to him. Like, he's got like some kind of one of them. You remember them horror movies where like the slug or this little worm thing gets into their ear and it goes into their brain and it starts like making them go fucking lunatic and then, like, their whole personality changes. It's like one of them horror flicks. You know what I'm talking about? That's what happened to Keith Olbermann. Some little worm thing crawled in his ear and he absolutely went batshit effing crazy, and he has not been normal since. And tonight he says Trump must be, or last night, you know, tonight, Trump must be removed and arrested tonight. Tonight, guys. Yeah, see, 270. That's what I thought. What was that website? Which one, April? Let me know. I'll put it. That was Gateway Pundit. The one I was just on was Gateway Pundit. Yes, that's what I thought, guys. 170. Precious moments. Thank you. That was Gateway Pundit for sure. If that's the one you're talking about, the one I just got off of. Yep, no problem. Keith Olbermann loses it in latest anti-Trump rant. I wanted a video. They got the video? Of course not, man. That would have been great. I wish I had the video. I actually think I do, as a matter of fact. Let me just, hang on a minute. It says, in an angry rant, Keith Olbermann embarked on yet another unhinged rant to Donald Trump. It says, Trump must be removed and arrested tonight. This is on Twitter. Gripped by a paranoid delusion threatening the nation's safety, this can't wait any longer. It won't happen. In fact, he'll probably concede and instantly announce he's running in 2024. And he's going to start it. If he does, he's going to also start a media company as well. That's going to be the only media company that conservatives go to, because Fox News has just lost all trust. All trust. I think he should actually like join together with OAN or what's that, Newsmax. Those are like, he should really like put money behind them and make it like he'll own like 3 media. So it'll be 3 conservative stations against the 6 liberals. At least we'll have a leg to stand on, you know? And then Fox can just keep balancing in the middle and walking that line like they want to do for some reason. Because I'll tell you why it is because Roger Ailes is no longer there. And what's those? There's two liberal brothers that are running it, and it's downhill ever since they put their hands on it. So anyway, in the video it says he called the president's voters, all 69 million of us, morons. The bad news is the lame duck president is now pivoting to Trump 24, he warned, pointing at recent New York Times report indicating Trump is considering a third run at the White House if his former vice president and Democratic president candidate Joe Biden wins 2020, blah, blah, blah. When it's finally over, he utters this breathless sentence. I concede, and I'm running for president in 2024. The rallies start next Friday, Olbermann added. Trump can still live in a version of a bubble that he and 69 million morons who voted for him have lived in since 2015, inside Trump world. It's fun, exciting, there's no pandemic, and nothing but white people and lots of guns. Everybody will be a billionaire soon. Elsewhere, VP Mike Pence tweeted, I stand with President at real Donald Trump, with which Olbermann fired back, then you need to be arrested and removed tonight as well. Do you think Twitter fact checked that? Do you think Twitter banned that, put a little tag on it? No, of course not. Not at all. Not at all. So, let's go on to this whistleblower thing, guys. This is big. I'm sure most of you have seen little bits and pieces of it. Oh, come on. Sorry. I got a lot of things pulled up, so this one might take a second to load. Just bear with me. If it does, I might just pass it and come back to it. How's that? Let's see here. Arizona files lawsuit to restore the ballots canceled over the Sharpies that they purposely gave to voters, even though most people came there with their own pen, because obviously with the pandemic, they didn't want to use other people's pens. However, they were handed Sharpies as if that was what you were supposed to use on your ballot. That happened knowing that those Sharpies could not be read by the machines. Therefore, I believe that most of the voters who checked online and saw that their vote did not count due to the Sharpie thing, they have filed a lawsuit to get their ballots to count or to be able to redo their ballots, because they were given these felt tip writing utensils. It started to bleed into the other side of her ballot. She was told to feed it through the machine anyway. And it was eventually canceled by the poll worker. She asked for a replacement one, but was denied one. She asked for a replacement ballot and was denied one. Wow. These voters were denied the right to vote. Arizona election officials allegedly were part of the problem and denied the right to vote should not occur because of failures of the processing of casting a ballot. 1 second, guys. I need to do something really quick. Oh, come on. Don't take forever. Google photos. All right, I just need to pull something up so that I can have it ready for when I'm ready to talk about it with you guys. And it's just easier to do it this way. Sorry. Bear with me. Most of you have seen it, but there's a couple of new people who are just back. And I want to make sure that, because the one thing that I keep bringing up here is people's voting experiences and how their voting experiences in 2020 was the worst thing that ever happened. And I can very much identify with that. I'm here in upstate New York and I'm in Trump country. I mean, everywhere you look, there's a Trump sign in the yard. We're not afraid. When I registered my daughter for school, she's a vegan. She's not, I wouldn't say a liberal. She's quite independent, but she's, hang on. She's a vegan. And so, but the school wanted us to be aware because I'm a lesbian. So I guess maybe they just assumed they wanted us to be aware there was a lot of Trump supporters in the school, kids and parents and vice versa. And so I was like, oh, but no, I'm great. I'm a Trump supporter. So as soon as I said that, it was like there was a big sigh of relief. They didn't have to tiptoe around me because I was lesbian and I had to be treated a certain way. And my daughter's a vegan, and so she expects to be treated. No, they have accepted us and loved us. My daughter has never done better anywhere than she's been done at this school. I can't say which one, but just if you know where it is, then you know. But anyway, I had to go to this area in my county to vote, and I walked in very quietly wearing a black sweatshirt with my Trump the Trump 45 underneath because the 44 didn't work for 8 years. My Keep America Great hat on, and I was very quiet. There was only one other person there besides me and my wife. That person was behind us. I think an elderly couple did come in during this whole mess, but quietly I came in, and this was my voting experience. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Absolutely, I can.
That is electioneering.
I do not work for a polling place, therefore it's not electioneering. I am allowed to wear it here. I'm in New York State Hamlin voting district. They're refusing to let me wear my Trump shirt. There's nothing or my Trump hat. They say it's against the law.
Yes, it is.
It is not. Show me. I want to see the law. This says if I'm a regular citizen voting, I can't wear my. Why would I allow it? Excuse me. Bless me. No, absolutely not. I do not have to. I don't work here. You do. You can't wear it. You can't wear it. This isn't electioneering. This is me supporting my candidate. You can't. What was that, man? I would like to see it. Yeah, I want to make sure I get your face.
Good.
Karen.
The law. New York State law.
Show me it.
That's what I'm looking
Show
for.
me it.
New York State law.
It says polling workers cannot wear.
No, it
There's
doesn't.
yes, it does. I work for a poll. I know, hon.
It's everybody.
No, it's not. It's you. You can't electioneer. You can't support whoever. I can. Most certainly I can. Absolutely. I'm not taking off my hat or my shirt. Absolutely not. If this said Biden, would you be bothering me right now? No, you would not. No, you would not. It's gonna be a long day because I'm not going anywhere, and I'm gonna stand here just like this. I have a right to vote, so you're denying my right to vote because I'm wearing Trump gear. No, I don't. You can't wear them. Poll workers can't, not people who are voting. I know my rights. I'm not stupid. You think I came here wearing this without knowing my rights? You guys just made this huge big deal. I came in here quietly, peacefully, ready to make my vote, and you started this. How sad. You can't even support the freaking president without being treated like scum.
Are you voting?
It's a shame. It's a shame. You might want to check yourself.
I'm sorry.
You're so politically correct.
Can I go do this?
Go, yeah, go, baby. Get the law yet? I'm at 2 minutes and 47 seconds into the altercation, and the woman who, Karen, who took her mask off and screamed in my face that she was finding the law for me, has yet to find the law. She's not only yet to find the law, but she's not even looking any longer. She's just sitting there waiting for me to give up and leave and not vote, which I did. I did it first because they told my wife she was at the wrong place. And I thought, oh, well, that's good then, because if she's at the wrong place, then I'm at the wrong place. So we went to another polling location where many people were there wearing Trump gear. My wife made her vote. Well, a very special poll worker whose name I cannot say. Her name begins with a C. She saw me. I was distressed. I did not go in with my Trump hat on, and I had my sweatshirt up because at that point in time, I just wanted to make my vote. I knew it was important, but I was so mad and so stressed out. And so she saw that. She pulled me aside. She did everything she could possibly do. Because, by the way, at this time, the state troopers had been called at the other polling location where as we were leaving, the troopers were coming in. So that would have been fun. That would have been like the most traumatizing thing in my life after doing a bid in jail, to go make my vote after 7 years of fighting to get my voting rights back. Go make my vote and have a state trooper show up to arrest me because I'm wearing Trump hat and Trump gear. So anyway, the poll worker at the other place called the board of elections, did everything short of doing anything she could to get me to vote there, to be able to vote there, but she couldn't. It was an address issue. I had the right address. My wife didn't. The other place was where I was supposed to be. So I had to go back to this address, guys. I had to come back. I had to come in without my hat on. I had to come in with my shirt zipped up, and I had to make my vote because it mattered. And she is definitely the calming voice that day that made me remember what it was all about. And I'm so very grateful for her. If I ever see her again, I can't wait to tell her thank you. But regardless, here's the rest of what happened real quick.
Move it straight up, move it kind of straight up now. Move it straight up.
Because this doesn't exist. Oh, it does. You can't wear it. I worked for a poll. In 2016, I couldn't wear my Bernie shirt. I know all about it. As a voter, I can. Now, really quick, I want to be honest. I'm in New York State, and in many other states, the law is you cannot wear the name of either candidate or carry a sign or have any type of gear that has the candidate's name on it within 100 feet of a poll because it's supposed. Now, mind you, I want you to understand that the actual poll workers at many elections across this country were wearing Biden-Harris masks, okay? You guys, this is basically, this is one of them laws that, yes, it happens in a lot of states, but 99.99999% of elections, they never even address, they don't say anything. Unless you're outside the poll, standing outside the door, as people come in saying, hey, vote for Trump, hey, vote for Trump, hey, vote for Trump. Oh, awesome, Bea. That's a good memory. That's a good image to leave in my mind as you get off the chat. That one will be in my mind. Going to take my shower. Listen. So, anyway, what I was trying to say is that I know the law is that you're not allowed to electioneer, meaning I'm not allowed to tell you what to do or make you feel intimidated by my presence because I'm wearing my candidate's name. However, like I said, 99.9% of elections, they do not enforce that policy. Come on, guys. How many times have you wore your gear to go vote? The only time I was not allowed to was when I was an actual poll worker. And even then, some of my fellow poll workers who had been doing it for a few years, Democrats, wore their Hillary shirts, stood outside and told people, vote for Hillary. So all I'm saying is this is the voting experience I got after 7 years of fighting. I voted for him in 2016, but it was different. At the time, I voted for him because I wanted to say fuck the Democratic Party after what they did to me with Bernie. I was so devastated. My heart was broken. I had almost given up on politics completely. I felt like Bernie sold me out. I was so stupid. I fell for all his little, socialist dreams. And I started to realize what life was really about. And I said, you know what? I'm going to show this Democratic Party what happens when you try to cheat and deceive and use people like Bernie Sanders to manipulate my emotions, to drag in young voters who are just trying to do the right thing in this world, who feel like their future is at stake and they got to, they want to make sure that everybody is taken care of, everybody's successful, everybody's got health care. So you think that what he's saying is so good until you realize the evil behind it all. And you realize what has happened every time it's been tried. So let me just get out of here real quick. Needless to say, I did go vote, like I said, and my vote did count. I checked it. So let's get out of here and let's go back to here, right? This is the Arizona one. Don't forget, we had the Arizona one with the lawsuit. Now we're going to go back to Gateway Pundit and we're going to talk about these 6,000 illegal votes that have been identified in Nevada as thousands of people are referred to the Department of Justice for potential criminal violation of election laws, okay? Guys, there is lots of reason to have hope right now. There is lots of reason to keep your spirits up right now. There is lots of reason for you to stand up for the president while he fights through the courts. The courts, now mind you, 1 second. Joe Biden called Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas a racist, okay? Second, the entire Democratic Party went after Kavanaugh and called him a what? A rapist. And now with Amy Coney Barrett, the third justice that Donald Trump is putting on, the third justice he's putting on the court. Obviously, he didn't put Clarence Thomas on the court, but the third justice he's putting on the court, Amy Coney Barrett, who has adopted African American children from Haiti, basically was accused of using buying the kids from Haiti to use them as like decoration in her little fancy bid to get to the Supreme Court. Basically, whatever that's called. I don't know what you would call that. Being a culture vulture or some shit. I don't know. But regardless, those 3 Supreme Court judges and the rest of our conservative judges are going to be the ultimate decision here. Those judges are going to be the ones who who decide whether the bullshit the Democratic Party has pulled in these key areas is going to actually get over, or if they're going to call bullshit. Okay, here it is. John Roberts made a letter to Clark County, Nevada. Here we go. Let me click on it. Excuse me. All right, come on. All right, I guess I got to blow it up. Nope. Let me try it again. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. We're cooking with grease. Now let's blow it up. Oh, it's not going to let me blow it up any bigger. That's fucked up. That's about as big as it's going to get right there. And then it just gets blurry. All right. Well, I guess I'll try to read it to you guys. I'm so sorry. Let's see. It's real quick. I'm just going to skim it. This is from the Weir Law Group saying mail ballots received from thousands of ineligible voters. It just goes into like all the demographics of where these voters came, these initial ballots came from that they found out are definitely like mail-in ballot, guys. Mail-in ballots. They're fraudulent ballots. They call into question the legitimacy and the integrity of the entire Nevada general election. This is a direct result of Mr. Gloria's lax procedures for authenticating voter identity and his negligent maintenance of voter rolls. Had Mr. Gloria's office used proper and generally accepted procedures to authenticate these ballots and clean the voter rolls on the front end, these illegal votes would have never been permeated into the voter pool, diluting the votes of the honest Nevadans. And so on, guys. This is going on in every single state. I swear there's a case everywhere. But most importantly, it's going on in swing battleground states, whatever you call them. Next, our lawyers just sent a criminal referral to AG Barr regarding 3,062 instances of voter fraud. Oops, I don't want to go to that here. As we expected the number to grow substantially, thousands of individuals have been identified who appear to have violated the law by casting ballots after they moved from Nevada. Hold on. This is frightening. Nevada has allowed non-residents to vote. Legal voters everywhere should be outraged, it says. Our lawyer, and just tells them what they did. Sorry. It's just a retweet of his tweet. And then there is the legal paper, or the lawsuit, letting them know they're going to file a lawsuit. Nevada, another very important place that seems kind of funny that there's, or ironic that there's problems. Ooh, I need a breather, guys. I need to play a video. All right, come on, I'm gonna play a video. I'm out of breath. This is what I mean about the corona, guys. Months and months and months later, I am still, I gasp. I have the hardest time. I know I'm a chain smoker, and I'm also a 420 partaker, but this is different, guys. All right, hold on. I want you to hear what AOC wants, and this is scary as fuck. She put this out on her Twitter.
That Donald Trump loses.
Throw the disclaimer in, guys. I'll be right.
News about the glitches in Michigan, which swung 6,000 votes from Trump to Biden. In the event he loses, you can expect truth and reconciliation. That's what they're calling it. They want lists of all of the people who supported Donald Trump and allowed it. And Ocasio-Cortez, of course, has gone completely nuts.
Why is it?
She tweeted, Is anyone archiving
There we
these
go.
Trump sycophants for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future. I'm sorry, archiving Trump sycophants, downplay their complicity? What are you saying, AOC? Why? Michael Simon, well, he says, yes, we are. He is the CEO of, really, a Y Combinator company, co-founder of Arena Summit. Former Barack Obama said, the Trump Accountability Project, every administration staffer, campaign staffer, bundler, lawyer who represented them, everyone. James Lindsay, of course, says, F your accountability, you petite tyrants. These people are not talking about truth and reconciliation. They're talking about blacklists. We must end Trumpism, those who supported him or in any way enabled him. And that's what we've already seen. They're now calling for more. I give you the Trump Accountability Project. Now, before I read this, I want to show you. I want to tell you, many people may be familiar with the DonaldTrump.watch. This was a website that put a pin on the map for everyone who donated to Donald Trump so that you could easily geolocate, you could easily see who around you was a supporter of the president. Why would they need that list? I don't know, but I can only suspect if people like AOC are now calling for this, what do you think these people are going to do when they have power? First, I imagine there's going to be blacklisting. No jobs, no social media, no financial services. We've already seen that with many people. They have outright blacklisted several people from numerous companies that people need to function in modern society. This, in my opinion, shouldn't be allowed. I'm in favor of regulation, and I'm in favor of guaranteeing people's rights to access public accommodation.
Okay, I gotta pause it, guys. Check out this. If you get a chance, I always tell people, look, the more information that you consume, the better. Even if it's not always in support of what but if we know what's going on or what they're thinking or what they're planning, we then can plan accordingly. Obviously, this accountability project is some serious shit, yo. This is some 1984. Who gave Trump money? Shit, I'm not joking. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Hold on. Okay, the mantra says we must never forget those who helped further the Trump agenda. We should welcome in our fellow Americans whom we differ politically, but the world should never forget those who have been faced with a decision, chose to put their money, their time, and their reputation behind separating children from their families, encouraging racism and anti-Semitism, and negligently causing the unnecessary loss of life, economic devastation from our country's failed response to the COVID-19 pandemic. This site will be a permanent record of, pay attention, guys, scary shit. All right. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Here, Tim talks about, here's what's on the site, guys. This site will be a permanent record of, first, those who elected him, individuals who worked for the Trump president campaign, Republican National Committee, and affiliated PACs, 2016 or 2020. They want a permanent record. They want everybody to get on there and put everybody they know that worked for them in there. So this is like an actual working, constantly updated list of people, guys, and their information. Pay attention. This is insane. Those who staffed his government, individuals who worked in any role as a political appointee in the Trump administration, those who served him, individuals who were appointed by President Trump to federal boards, commissions, or the judiciary.
Committee?
Hold on. Those who funded him, individuals who donated a significant amount, $1,000 or more, to the Donald J. Trump for President campaign and campaign committees in 2016 and 2020. Guys, how many people gave their $1,000 stimulus to Trump when this all started, when he, whenever, it doesn't matter how many regular everyday Joes. Oh, why is that so bright? Sorry, guys, I don't know why it's like that. Regular everyday Joes. How's that? Is that, nope, it's still not better. Either way, donated to Donald Trump and now are basically going to be put on this list so that they can be attacked constantly, hunted down, banned from liberal activities. What are you going to do?
PACs in 2016.
Why is that so
2020.
bright?
Those who staffed his government.
Hold on.
Individuals who worked in any role as a political appointee in the Trump administration. Those who served him. Individuals who were appointed by the president to federal boards, commissions, or the judiciary. Those who funded
this is
it.
bad.
Individuals who donated a significant amount, $1,000 or more, to the Donald J. Trump for president and related campaign committees in 2016 and 2020.
Still
Those
just
who
as bad. I
supported
don't
him.
understand why it's so bright.
Individuals and
Hold on.
organizations that publicly endorsed either of Donald
Here.
Trump's campaigns for president
There we
in
go.
2016 or 2020.
That's better.
Those who
For you
represented
guys.
him. Law firms that worked for the Trump for president campaign or Trump administration officials. And that's about it. I don't think
They want a list. Now watch. I'm going to show you that they started this list. Check it out.
I'm not going to click through and show you any names because it's actually quite insane. They say some tools might be unavailable due to heavy traffic in this file. That's right. A lot of people in this Google Doc.
This site will be a permanent record of, and it shows all of it, guys. And when you click on the bullets, it has names. How long before my name's on there and yours? And suddenly we're banned from certain things, certain activities, certain, I don't know, everyday shit. It's kind of crazy, yo. That's all I'm saying. Kind of crazy. So I want to go back here. Hold on. Just like this. You were always showing us. Oh, Precious. I remember. Yeah, that many nights up. Holy cow. You don't even know. Yeah, you do know. You remember that. After that, it's taken a long time. Now Nikki doesn't work nights anymore. So finally, like, my insomnia is finally starting to calm down. But it's been, and still, I am a very, very paranoid person about electrical outlets. And we live in an old farmhouse. It's gorgeous. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I am very paranoid about it. I want to just like pick everybody's spirits up for a second, guys. I don't know if you know this guy, but I think he's hilarious and he makes me laugh when I feel like this is over with. So drop the disclaimer in the comments and let's have a good time for about 5 minutes.
I went to sleep last night in America and I woke up in North Korea. North Korea, it's China. I woke up in
No, they'll say, oh, this recount is bullshit. Oh, we had it. And then they get a recount. No, the recount is to verify that all that shit that you sent in that was fake gets thrown the fuck out before we actually have a total, before you call the race. Unfortunately, the left, and we're going to talk about it right after this video. We're going to talk about how they planned for this. They war gamed this. They war gamed 8 or 10 different outcomes of how the group was not protesting after they made a big deal out of it and acted like the news crew acted like they had to be smuggled out of the building and all these poor people from the poll were going to have to go in the parking lot and try to get in their cars with all these terrible protesters. Oh my God. No, guys, they were praying for the president and they were saying America. There was no burning of flags, no beating of other people. There was no intimidating of people who were not involved in their little prayer group. But they show better, makes me break shit down, like in my head, like very simply, we just have to keep this fight up until we know every last vote has been counted fairly. And from there, we will make our decision and our next move. We will pray that the Senate stays in GOP's hands so that we can basically just block everything that the Democrats try to put forward. Other than his corny executive orders and international deals, like the Paris Climate Agreement. Now, I told you, stick around. I had some crazy shit I wanted to talk about, so we're going to move on to the crazy stuff. Ready? Okay. This is not the crazy stuff, but we're going to talk, hang on, let me pull it up here. Okay, guys. This is September 3rd, 2020. Okay, this goes back even further than this, and we're going to hit up a couple different sites so that you see this is not just National Review. This is New York Post. This is USA Today. I think Breitbart, maybe. Yeah, of course. Anyway, too many voters don't believe November's election will be legitimate before it has even been conducted. Let me see if I can do this.
The Democrats' dangerous delegitimization of the election, National Review. Too many voters don't believe November's election will be legitimate before it has even been conducted.
I'll stop it in the middle,
A recent
guys.
deep dive in the Washington Post's Outlook section. What's the worst that could happen? exploring various potential outcomes of the 2020 presidential election, found that in every scenario except the Biden landslide, our simulation ended catastrophically. According to the Post, any other outcome is destined to spark violence and a constitutional crisis.
Do you hear this?
Or, in other words,
I want to pause this. Listen to this again, guys. They did a war game. The Democrats did. For months, they got all kinds of people together, including people like John Podesta, things like that, and they played this very ruthless war game. And basically, it said that basically it said every outcome would be dragging the president out of the White House. What's the worst that could happen? Basically, they try in their war game scenarios. Democrats refuse to accept the will of the courts. Okay, listen, guys. In their war game, this is a prediction of what's going to happen over the next 3 weeks. This was written in September. This was already war gamed out. This was already planned, and I'm going to prove this to you right now. In their war game, however, it's the Democrats who refuse to accept the will of the courts, to adhere to the constitutionally prescribed system rather than hysteria. And it's the Democrats who will wish cast the holy, imaginary, popular vote into existence. Do you understand what they're saying? We have the popular vote. We have the popular vote. And we're tired of giving you the election because you got the 270 when we have 5 million more votes than you. That's what they're saying. That's what they always say. That's their excuse all the time. One of these scenarios, though, we learned doesn't look different from 2016. A contest in which must be pointed out, not one vote has been proven to be uncounted or altered. In that outcome, America is confronted with a big popular win for Mr. Biden and a narrow electoral defeat. Guys, that's another war game. They did war games at like 8 different ways, and they used actual Democratic strategists to do so. Okay? In the real world, incidentally, the scenario is called a Trump victory. What would happen? What's the worst that could happen? Okay, here we go. Here's the Podesta part. Everybody in my comment section, if you don't know who John Podesta is, you definitely need to look him up. His emails were leaked during the 2016 election. I spent many, many months deep diving into what I found was the most disgusting life that these Democratic strategists and donors and millionaires and billionaires and donor buddies, all about bundlers. There you go. Bundlers. The life that they have is the most disgusting. Oh, God. Okay. So in this fictional war game, however, John Podesta, playing the role of Joe Biden, contends that his party will not let him concede the race. So he tells he's going to get up in front of the news and say, the Democratic Party does not want me to concede the race. Remember, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances. Remember that? And it says, and alleges voter suppression. The catch-all go-to every time a Democratic loses and is persuades the Democratic governors of Trump-won states, such as Wisconsin. Guys, this is in September. Listen to this. Wisconsin, Michigan, to send pro-Biden electors to the Electoral College. You guys, they're going to, no matter what happens, they've already got a plan B. Even if they have a recount and we pull out Michigan and we pull out Wisconsin. Hold on one second. Fur babies, enough. Did he leave already? Oh, okay, I'm live. I gotta go. Yes. Okay, sorry guys. Had to make sure my daughter's friend left. Okay, here we go. So listen, guys. This is what's I believe my prediction is one of these are gonna be the outcomes. Hopefully that people have saw this coming. I'm hoping I'm not the only person who saw this in September. Obviously I'm not, but I'm hoping the right people saw it and prepared for it. So here we go. So in the fictional war game, blah, 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 the catch-all go-to every time a Democrat loses and persuades governors of Trump-won states, such as Wisconsin and Michigan, to send pro-Biden electors, meaning even though Trump won the state, that at the end of the day, what happens? You get electoral voters who go to the electoral college and vote for whoever the state overwhelmingly voted for. They're asking them to be faithless electors. They're saying to them, even though your state has gone primarily for Trump, majority for Trump, whatever, we're telling you to save this country, you need to go to the college and be for Biden. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to send pro-Biden electors to the electoral college. And in the meantime, California, Oregon, and Washington threaten to secede from the union. Secede from the union if Trump takes office. Y'all, this is insane. They war gamed this in September. Why would they war game something so severe? And then look what's going on right now. Like, this is just the tip. This is just the tip of the iceberg, y'all. Sorry, I needed a drink. Ooh, that was a mouthful. Okay, guys, here we go. This scenario is what a real-life coup might resemble. It is, needless to say, utterly insane that Democrats would destroy the nation's long-standing peaceful transition because they refuse to accept the mandated process of electing the president. All of which is to say the proactive and retroactive delegitimization of the Trump presidency, and it has been a successful four-year project. It permeates the entire Democratic Party's information complex. First, Democrats convinced millions of Americans and a handful of inept and puerile social media ads were enough to overturn, that some $150,000 in Facebook ads of Bernie Sanders in a buff beach body and Jesus masturbating was enough to turn all those Hillary voters against Hillary and for Trump. Are you effing kidding me? But that's what they tried to sell us. They believe that it says overturn the presidential. By 2017, a majority of Democrats believe the vote tallies have been tampered with by Russians somehow without even a trace of evidence. Okay, guys? Literally, they believe there was so many people that believed in this Russian bullshit. Bless me. Excuse me. Phew. Cats are downstairs. Okay, so anyway, it says since then, Democrats have been working to convince themselves there is no legitimate way in which Trump could ever win this election again. A large number of high-profile left-wing columnists have laid the groundwork. Listen to me, guys. High-profile left-wing columnists, I'm assuming that could be anybody. See it. It's even people who are on our mainstream news, whatever, or mainstream news articles, have laid the groundwork to make this case, and high-profile politicians have joined them. Hillary Clinton's advice to Biden not long ago was not to concede defeat on the night of November 3rd, no matter what happens. In January, during the impeachment trial, Representative Adam Schiff said the president's misconduct cannot be decided at the ballot box, for we cannot be assured that the vote will be fairly won. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has noted that let the election decide is a dangerous position because Trump is already jeopardizing the integrity of the 2020 elections. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I feel like they're trying to brainwash us with these talking points that are absolutely the opposite of reality. However, it says it's worth pointing out that almost no one thinks Trump will actually win more votes, Chris Hayes told his followers not that long ago. Are you kidding me? I want to just point something out. I'm going to hop here real quick. Trump, he actually tripled the amount of black votes. He went from 8% in 2016 to 34%, said Rasmussen on Sunday. Trump also, I believe he doubled Latinos and Asians, right? Yeah. He, hang on one second, guys. Okay, come on. Sorry, my kittens want in. Fur babies. Okay, anyway. He gained with Latinos and Asians, but then he lost with white. I believe it or not, the only place he lost was white men, guys. White men. That's the only place he lost. And it's probably white men whose wife's at home. Karens have said to them, like, I am literally walking you to the polls and I'm watching you vote. It's probably the ones whose wives have went crazy since 2016 and they had no choice. So how is it that they're saying that in this war game, hang on, let me get back to the war game here. Right here we go. How it says that Chris Hayes, it's worth pointing out almost no one thinks Trump actually will win more votes. Okay, well, I just proved to you that he won, a total of 40% more votes overall, or 46% of other races that he did not get in 2016. Are you kidding me? If he thinks he wins the Electoral College and loses the popular vote again, you're looking at the worst I hate that word. Legitimacy. Legitimacy. There we go. I got it out. Crisis since secession. A far bigger crisis for the U.S. is that the liberal pundits tell their audience that the method of winning an election in the United States, one that every president in history of the country relied on, should be considered a crisis of legitimacy. Meaning, every time somebody actually gets a 5-minute chance to hear the news, they end up hearing that this election can't be trusted. The totals can't be trusted. It's not legitimate because of who's behind, who's running it, whose administration is running it, supposedly. But the funny thing is even on Fox News, at the Fox News desk on election night, they did not have a conservative person calling the election. They had a Democrat strategist calling the election. That is why they called Arizona and also did not call many other states. Anyway, I gotta pull up here. Okay, next. I want to go to the next part of this war games, guys. Okay, there's more. Why do I have to keep resetting them? Hold on. So this is kind of where, like, I'm telling you, people had to have seen this in the news. This is in September. They were planning what we're going through right now in September. A recent deep dive into a Washington Post, what's the worst that could happen? I can't click on it because I'm not paying for it. Exploring various potential outcomes of the 2020 presidential election, found that in every scenario except a Biden landslide, our simulation ended catastrophically. According to the article, any other outcome is destined to spark violence and a constitutional crisis. You guys, that's like holding a knife at the throat of the country. Don't you feel like that's what that is? That's like holding a knife against the throat of the entire country and saying, if you don't accept Joe Biden as the president, the winner as the president, the candidate who won electoral, whatever you call it, the president-elect, if you don't accept him, then we're going to go out and destroy the country, and we're going to call it a constitutional crisis, and you're not going to be able to go to work, and you're going to march the streets and burn things, and you're going to have to worry about being assaulted just for being a Trump voter or a Trump donor, your name being exposed on these lists. It's all going to be, wow. And all this, Trump knows all this. Trump knows all this, and he has to decide what moves to make under these circumstances, guys. In other words, it says, nice country you got there. Every assumption in a wash is a conspiratorial paranoia that is infected with the modern Democratic Party. It's a world where Trump officials, played quite implausibly by Joe Biden partisans, Michael Steele and Bill Kristol, are ruthless and unconstrained right out of the gate. But the genteel statesmen of Team Biden struggled to get out of the reaction mode. It's a place where Republicans aren't only reflexively seditious and autocratic, but highly politicized. The Supreme Court tries to steal the election, they call it. But a highly politicized Supreme Court tries to steal the election. Guys, this is where this is going. That's what, no matter what, we have to be ready for this, because the bottom line is that right now we're pissed. But we know that when this is played out correctly, he's going to be named president, and the rest of the country that did not support his run is going to lose their effing minds. I don't know how long, and I really don't know to what extent, but I know it's going to be epic. Epic. And I don't want to be out of my house for it. Go ahead, come to my place and see what happens. We've been stocking up for fucking 18 months now. Yes, ma'am. I am one of the 330 million and counting because there's way more than that. So anyway, here we go. Stop. Okay, in their war game, however, the Democrats refused to accept the will of the courts and adhere to the constitutionally prescribed system rather than the hysteria. And it's the Democrats who wish cast the whole imaginary popular vote. I told you that. It says one of them doesn't look different from 2016. In that outcome, America is confronted with a big popular win for Biden and a narrow electoral defeat. In a real world, incidentally, that scenario is called a Trump victory. In the fictional war game, Podesta, playing the role of Biden, contends that his party won't let him, I told you this, concede from the race and instead alleges voter suppression. So, again, it calls out Wisconsin and Michigan. In the meantime, there's going to be a coup. The scenario, remember what I showed you the other night with the sunrise thing? Go to Millie, guys. Go watch my video and go check out Millie, Millennial Millie. She has undercover journalists inside the Sunrise organization, inside the people, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, who are planning these unrests, and they're calling it a coup. They are calling it a coup. They're saying, don't let anybody call it anything less than a coup. That she's got them on tape. Needless to say, uttering that the insane Democrats would destroy the long-standing peaceful transition because they refuse to accept the mandated process of electing the president. All of which is to say the proactive and retroactive, again, guys, delegitimization of the Trump presidency. Remember that. That's their whole plan. So it goes on to say, Hillary Clinton's advice, we know that. If their war games are to be believed, then that's what Democrats are counting on. It says, what happens when every long line at the polls and every Facebook meme and every delayed mail-in ballot is turned into a nefarious plot by the enemy to snatch democracy from the rightful winner? It's going to be ugly indeed. If their war games are to be believed, then that's what the Democrats are counting on, guys. They have played this out. What we don't know is, did the GOP catch this in time to address it, to play out their own war games, to play out their own, the different options of way this election could go based on, not polls, but based on their own internal information. Hi, Rosie. What are you doing, bud? So, okay, this gets a little bit better. Hang on. Again, guys, these are mainstream news articles that were out in September. Again, they want you to, this is August 6th. This is August. When I tell you this has been going on since the summertime. Hang on. Stay with mommy. Come on. It says that, they were wargaming this all summer. They met virtually on Zoom for 4 days over 2 weeks in June, holding simultaneous simulations known in the military and intelligence communities as war games. There were 67 players, guys. Many of them were high-profile critics of the president, including law professors, retired military, former senior officials, political strategists, and attorneys. And instead of mapping out a geopolitical conflict, the group peered ahead to the November election, now less than 90 days away, and explored how the race between Trump and Biden could turn in a post-election crisis. Podesta, again, a former top aide of Barack, President Obama, and Bill Clinton, former chief of staff, played Biden, again, two outspoken Republican critics of Trump, David Frum and Bill Kristol, portrayed the president. After gaming out various scenarios, the group said the conclusions were alarming, and the election taking place amid a pandemic, a recession, and rising political polarization, the group found a substantial risk of legal battles, a contested outcome, and violent street clashes, and even a constitutional impasse. We assess with a high degree of likelihood that November's elections will be, damn it. November's elections will be marked with chaotic legal and political landscape. The Transition Integrity Project, which organized these war games, said in a report this week. The winner may not, and we assess likely will not be known on election night. This is in August, guys. August. Officials count mail-in ballots. The report said this period of uncertainty provides opportunities for unscrupulous candidate to cast doubt on the legitimacy of the process and set up an unprecedented assault on the outcome. Trump predicts an election disaster. In 6 weeks since the tabletop exercise, the group's organizers said their fears of a messy outcome have only grown. Last week, Trump floated the idea of delaying the election, which was bullshit, though he was quickly rebuffed by both Democrats and Republicans as several states looked to expand mail-in voting because of the corona. Trump has repeatedly warned of fraud, said this is the greatest election disaster in history. He's trying to create as many possible pre-narratives, they say, that are for claiming the results are not legitimate. No, they're just they're pre-brainwashing us to think Trump is just making all this up. To think, stop it, kid. Hey, Rose, come on. Or Sasha, come here. Come here, baby. My Sasha, come here. I want you to be famous. You want to get? Come here. Hold on. Here. Say hi, world. I'm so famous now. I'm Sashi, the famous kitty. Where's your twin sister? Oh, gone. She's got a twin. Anyway, here we go. Sorry, guys. I thought you liked that. There's my fur baby. One of my fur babies. Come on. Can you come in? Get in here. Hurry up. I'm trying to do my show. You know that. Get up here. Come on. Get up here on the bed. Get up here. There you go, fat baby. All right, guys, let's finish this up here. It says, Trump has repeatedly warned of fraud, suggesting it'll be the greatest. Okay, anyway, they're just making all this up for us. They're saying this for us. This isn't about Trump. They're saying this for us. They need us to keep hearing that over and over and over again until our brain can't get it out. Hi, what are you doing, Mama? You said you wanted down, now you're back. So anyway, how will the candidates, the media, and the bureaucracy react? While the participants role-played the aftermath of 4 scenarios: a decisive Biden win, a narrow win, a close electoral win for Trump, but a 5% point popular vote loss, and the possibility that the outcome remains in doubt for weeks because of a deluge of mail-in ballots. Guys, they war gamed this exact situation that we're going through right now. They war gamed all 4 scenarios, and out of all 4, this was the one where they were most successful. Mark my words, this is already in motion. Okay, let me keep going, because I have other things that are very important and I need to tell the people who are, hang on. Breitbart reported on it as well. The only thing that they said anything new on that, like I didn't already talk to you guys about, was it says there's a scenario where in that scenario, California, Oregon, and Washington threaten to secede from the U.S. if Trump takes office. The House names Joe Biden president. The Senate and the White House stuck with Mr. Trump. At that point in the scenario, the nation stopped looking to the media for cues and waited to see what the military would do. Guys, do you understand how they're trying to, what they're trying to do here? They're trying to do what they did in what basically we helped have happen in Ukraine, what we helped have happen in Turkey, a coup on the president using the military to take him out. Okay, sorry, I just needed people to like really think about that for a minute. Okay, this just happens to be something that, just like the war game that I just talked to you about, guys, there was an actual war game basically 2 months, not even 2 months, 30 days before the very first coronavirus case was identified here. I believe actually in the United States, but they've actually started to go back and find out there was cases further back than that. But in October, a group of 15 business people and health experts gathered around a New York table. And they war gamed this simulation of coronavirus before it ever happened. And they called it Event 201. And I'm sure many of you have heard about it. But as we all know, just like I showed you in the war game situation, these Democrats are using that to dictate their moves. They've left us a trail of manuals of how they're going to move next. And we need to use our heads and read what they've already got planned and down in writing for all of their brainwashed sycophants to fucking follow, like an instruction manual. Okay? This happened to be a training exercise with very disturbing similarities to the COVID-19, 2019 COVID virus, the Chinese virus, that's gone global. Now, this was written in January 2020, this month. 3.5 hours later, the group finished the simulation exercise, and despite their best efforts, they couldn't prevent the hypothetical coronavirus from killing 65 million people. This was called Event 201. Check out the simulation. There's actually hours of it on YouTube, guys. You can actually watch them game this out. Bill Gates is involved, of course. John Hopkins, who is in charge of keeping track of all of the people who's ever tested positive corona, they were involved in this. All of the World Economic Forum was involved in it. It started with pigs in Brazil before spreading to farmers, not unlike how COVID started with animals before spreading to people. We are going to get to that, guys. This is scary. I've got something to tell you. We're going to come back to the Event 201 thing. I think you need to know this before anybody leaves my live. You guys, if you don't watch Sticks Hexenhammer, please subscribe to Sticks. Not because he needs your views, but because the man is a genius. Because he calls things months before they happen. And he was on this virus mutation thing back when we were still locked down, waiting for our first 15 days to get over with. He was talking about mutations and how dangerous and deadly they could be. And guys, they have found a mutation for the coronavirus. It has mutated, guys. And they have found it in mink farms in Denmark. They've also found that it is spreading the virus to humans at a rate of 214 people in Denmark. So this is what they are planning. I am not kidding. This is how serious they're taking this mutation. And you should too, as an ex-nurse. I have never denied this corona. I told you what it's done to me. But they are killing 17 million mink. They're basically wiping out the entire population, of mink in Denmark. And also, I believe, in Netherlands as well. Denmark is the largest mink producer, and it plans to cull as many as 17 million mink over the new coronavirus mutation capable of spreading from animal to humans and could put future vaccines at risk. The mutation has been found to undermine the body's ability to form antibodies, guys. It says that you can't form antibodies to it. Your body can't form antibodies to this mutation. It could threaten the vaccine's effects, meaning you could have a vaccine and it wouldn't matter because this coronavirus mutation, well, it doesn't matter. Like, it'll go around it. Basically, it'll make it less effective, so that your antibodies actually produce a cytokine storm, they call it. It's like a wicked storm that you're on your insides, like all your antibodies are trying to fight a war for you. But at the same time, that whole storm of everything happening is causing more problems on the inside that you don't even know about, more dangerous issues. This mutation is serious, y'all. This mutation is serious. And we need to know, you don't hear about this on the news right now, do you? I think you should be. 783 people have been infected with coronavirus in North Denmark alone and had cases stemming from the region's mink farms. At least 5 new cases of the mutation at mink farms have been growing alarm that the virus could spread very quickly as strong action is not taken. The culling of the mink across hundreds of farms could begin as soon as possible, according to BBC. Tens of thousands of mink have had to be culled in Europe, with Spain seeing 100,000 mink killed in July. They've known about it, guys. Why would they kill 100,000 mink in July if they didn't already know about the mutation in July, but they were trying not to tell us? They were trying to solve the problem on their own. It says July, there are cases found at a farm in Argon province. Meanwhile, thousands of mink have been slaughtered in the Netherlands following outbreaks there as well. That's where Styx lives part of the time, is the Netherlands. So that's why he was like, this is disgusting that they're doing this. They shouldn't be farming mink to begin with. Mink should be free, period. There's no reason for, they don't eat the meat. They don't give the meat to the poor. They don't use, all they do is kill them for their fur coats for rich people who have nothing better to spend their money on. Anyway, it says the mink population is worth about 350 to 450 million. Noting that the infections have been brought into control, supposedly, in other parts of Europe. In June, said Denmark's call was unexpected. He further warned it could happen in other countries, but I don't want to speculate. I don't know what other countries allow mink farms, but I'm going to say, guys, as a nurse, have you not noticed that almost all of the most deadly viruses that we've had to deal with in, say, the last, 3, 4, 5 decades have all come from factory farm environments, piling animals on top of each other and feces and yeah. So let's see here. Last but not least, it says travel to the UK from Denmark is to be banned amid worries over COVID and mink. It's a mutation, as I said, guys. This is no joke. Oh, sorry, that was my hand. Anyway, that's got headphones on is going to be like, oh, okay. No, it was my hand. It just slid on my desk. Anyway, I'll do it later. Here we go. All travel from UK to Denmark is being banned, guys, amid this mounting concern over the outbreak in the country of a mutation of coronavirus linked to mink. The Guardian understands. Downing Street has already taken action to remove Denmark from the travel corridor, forcing arrivals to quarantine for 2 weeks from Friday at 4 a.m. Guys, quarantine for 2 weeks is not going to matter if this is a mutation and we don't know anything about it other than it can override your antibodies and deplete their efficiency. What are you doing? Oh, girl, you eating? Sorry. Following a COVID committee meeting on Friday afternoon, the government is halting all inbound travel from Denmark. The medical chief, all right, it goes on. Point being, guys, mutation, it's here. It's in the world right now. And it's just a matter of time before it's over here. And we are dealing with some serious, we can't have Joe Biden in office for this, guys. We can't. We'll be so fucked. Our economy will never be normal again. We will not be a superpower any longer by the time the virus situation comes to an actual end. Excuse me, bless me. Oh, cats. I love them, but they're medium haired, so they make me sneeze. Okay, really quick. I want to go back this way. Let's talk about. Let's see, we already did that. List of important dates. Yes, just so you guys know, Gateway Pundit. If you don't know who to be talking to right now to push, first of all, where are the Republicans? Where are Republican representatives? Where are the Republican congressmen and congresswomen? Where are the Republican, oops, sorry, what's that? I don't want to apply, thank you. Damn it, get out of here. Where are the Republicans, guys? That's all I'm trying to say. Like, where is Hunter Biden? But where are the Republicans? Trump pollster said many polling firms boosted Biden numbers to suppress the vote. Of course, we already, that's Dan Bongino. I got to get back to where I was. Here we go. Nope, wrong one. Damn it. Huh. I lost it. Maybe it went off there. Okay. Well, I had it, but there's a list, you guys. There's a list you can go to on Gateway Pundit of your representatives. I must have exited out by accident. I'm sorry. Of your representatives so that you can call and say, why aren't you supporting our president? Why aren't you standing up saying that every vote needs to be certified? Why aren't you on this? So it says Trump campaign. I already told you about the lawsuit, guys, and that was like the first night or whatnot. 200,000 ballots for Biden appeared at a midnight ballot drop. Look at the lines. This is what is so important, like where you can literally see where the straight up. See that? Straight up? That's not physically, like that's not statistically possible. That had to be some type of, like, you have no idea what I mean when I say, like, that is the most unheard of thing in history, and it's going to be exposed. All of it, every last case of it is going to be exposed because our people are not walking away from this. And I guarantee, as I said, on 4chan and Reddit right now are a bunch of, our great nerds digging into all of the cases of fraud. That, now we're going to check this out. Check it out. ABC News. Come on, there we go. Ohio. Come on. Ohio says nearly 50,000 voters received the wrong ballot.
Quickly approaching across the country, and in some cases have already passed. So in tonight's Ballot Watch, we wanted to give you an idea of where things stand in your state. And the good news, in more than 35 states, you can still register to vote in the presidential election. These are the 13 states where, unfortunately, if you have not registered already, you're out of luck. That includes the battleground states of Ohio, Georgia, Texas, and Florida, which had their registration deadlines this week. In Florida, as we reported earlier this week, the deadline was extended an extra day after the voter registration website crashed on the last day.
I guess that's something else, because this says Ballot Watch where you can register to vote. I don't want that. I want to show you this. 50,000 voters received incorrect ballots in a county that is home to Ohio's capital, largest city. Election officials said Friday the corrected ballots would be mailed in 72 hours. With about 240,000 ballots mailed, that meant 1 in 5 voters received a wrong ballot, guys. 1 in 5 voters received the wrong ballot. That is unacceptable. What is going on? Why are we looking at this as if there's anything legitimate about this race? Armed men arrested near Philadelphia vote counting location. Oh, Jesus. They had some guy picked up because he had a gun on him. Wonderful. Why would you have a gun outside? Just to intimidate them? That's the last thing you need to do. We are not like them. I understand the frustration. I understand the anger. But we beat them with our brains because they have none. The error happened Saturday afternoon when... Okay, so with about 240,000 ballots in the mail, 1 in 5 voters received the wrong ballot. The error happened Saturday afternoon when someone changed a setting on a machine that places absentee ballots in a mailing envelopes. Franklin County election officials said Thursday. Some ballots had incorrect congressional race, while others had correct information but were sent to voters in a different precinct. The Franklin County Election Board said 49,669 voters received incorrect ballots out of the 237,000 that were mailed. That's fucking unacceptable. 50,000 votes out of 240,000 were literally the wrong ballot, representing 6% of the approximately 880,000 registered voters and 0.6% of the 8 million voters registered statewide in the presidential battleground state. Kat, if you don't stop, I'm going to shut the door. Here. There. Whew, I am so nauseous. I need to get something to eat, guys. I've been going on 2 hours here, and I have so much more, but I am really not feeling well. I love you guys, but I gotta take a break. Maybe if you guys are up, I just need to get some food in me, and then I will come back if everybody's okay with it. I love you so much. Hang in there. Keep your spirits up, please. Come on. Come on.